In the blistering midday sun of a bustling Houston intersection, a hot-tempered patrol officer yanked a poised black woman from her luxury sedan and forced her to her knees on the scorching asphalt, barking orders laced with suspicion and scorn, only to stagger back in stunned silence when she calmly revealed her identity as Colonel Serena Brooks, a decorated U.S. Army officer with more battlefield command under her belt than he had years on the force, unleashing a torrent of accountability that would dismantle his career and ignite a national reckoning on respect and rank. Colonel Serena Brooks had built a career that spanned 2 decades in the U.S. Army, rising from a second lieutenant fresh out of West Point in 2003 to a full colonel commanding the 1st Armored Brigade Combat Team out of Fort Bliss, Texas. At 43 years old, she had led troops through the dust-choked streets of Baghdad during the surge, coordinated drone strikes against ISIS strongholds in Syria, and earned the Legion of Merit for a daring extraction operation in Afghanistan that saved 28 soldiers from an ambush. Her service record included 3 Bronze Stars, a Purple Heart from shrapnel wounds sustained in a 2015 IED blast, and commendations from 3 different Secretaries of Defense. Colleagues knew her as Iron Serena, a nickname born not from rigidity but from her unshakable poise under fire, calm in chaos, decisive without cruelty. Off duty, she lived quietly in a gated community on Houston's outskirts with her husband, Dr. Malik Brooks, a cardiologist, and their 10-year-old daughter, Aaliyah, who idolized her mother's stories of far-off bases and midnight briefings. On that sweltering July afternoon in 2024, Serena was driving home from a routine medical checkup at the VA hospital in downtown Houston. She had just been cleared for her next deployment cycle. Her SUV, a black Escalade with government plates discreetly marked, cruising steadily at 45 miles per hour in a 40 zone on Westheimer Road. Traffic hummed around her, minivans ferrying soccer moms, delivery trucks weaving lanes, and the occasional luxury coupe blasting hip-hop. Serena's mind wandered to Aaliyah's upcoming school play, a production of The Wiz, where her daughter would play Dorothy. She adjusted her rear-view mirror, catching a glimpse of her reflection. Close-cropped hair, sharp jawline softened by a faint scar above her left eyebrow, and eyes that stared down enemy fire without flinching. Officer Kyle Ramsey, 31, was midway through a 12-hour shift for the Houston PD's Traffic Division, his cruiser idling at a red light 2 cars back from Serena's Escalade. Ramsey had joined the force 4 years earlier after washing out the Marines during basic training, a fact he buried under layers of bravado and a collection of tactical gear he bought online. His personnel file noted 2 prior complaints for overly aggressive stops, including a 2022 incident where he detained a Latina driver for 45 minutes over a taillight, muttering slurs that led to a $50,000 settlement. Ramsey prided himself on keeping the streets clean, a phrase he used in precinct locker rooms while scrolling through anti-immigrant memes. That day, he clocked Serena's SUV at 48 miles per hour on his radar gun, 3 over the limit, and decided it was time for a teaching moment. He hit his lights and siren, a whoop slicing through the horns of stalled traffic. Serena glanced in her mirror, spotting the cruiser, and pulled over smoothly into the breakdown lane, her blinker ticking like a metronome. She powered down her window, placed both hands visible on the steering wheel at 10 and 2, and waited, her breathing even. Protocols drilled into her since ROTC, reinforced by years of watching viral videos of black women pulled over for less. Ramsey approached from the passenger side, his hand hovering near his holster, shades masking his squint as he peered into the SUV. License and registration, he said without preamble, his tone clipped, eyes scanning the interior. Leather seats, a tactical backpack in the passenger footwell, a framed photo of Serena in dress blues pinned to the visor. Serena nodded calmly, announcing her movements. "Yes, sir." Reaching into my glove box now. She retrieved the documents slowly, handing them over with a steady hand. Her ID showed her full name, Colonel Serena Brooks, U.S. Army, with a Texas address. Ramsey took the papers, glancing at them dismissively. "You know why I pulled you over, ma'am?" Serena met his gaze evenly. "I believe I was going a bit over the speed limit. Apologies for that." He snorted, leaning closer to the window, his bulk casting a shadow. "A bit? You were pushing 50 in a 40. And what's this?" He tapped the government plates. Military plates don't give you a free pass to speed like some entitled driver. Step out of the vehicle. Serena's pulse quickened slightly, but her face remained composed. Officer, is that necessary? I can provide proof of insurance right here. Out. Now, Ramsey repeated, his voice rising an octave, fingers drumming his belt. I smell something fishy. Hand where I can see him. Traffic slowed to a crawl around them, drivers rubbernecking, phones emerging from cup holders, recording the exchange. Serena sighed inwardly, weighing her options. Comply to de-escalate, as her husband always advised, or assert her rank and risk escalation. She chose the former. Opening the door and stepping out in measured steps, her khaki slacks and blouse rumpled slightly from the seat. At 5 feet 8 inches, she stood tall, her posture military straight, but Ramsey towered over her at 6 feet 2 inches, his gut straining his uniform shirt. Turn around, hands on the hood, he ordered, patting her down roughly, his palms lingering too long on her hips. Finding nothing, he spun her back. You got anything in that bag? Drugs? Contraband? Folks like you always got something. Serena's eyes narrowed at the folks like you, the subtle dig, the implication of her skin. Officer, my bag contains work documents. Nothing illegal. Ramsey ignored her, unzipping the backpack himself and dumping its contents onto the hood. A laptop, briefing binder stamped classified, a set of dog tags, and a beret with brigade insignia. He rifled through, scoffing. Work documents? Looks like spy shit to me. You smuggling for some cartel? On your knees, now. Standard procedure for suspicious vehicles. The asphalt radiated heat through Serena's flats, but she held her ground. With respect, sir, I'm a U.S. Army colonel. This is unnecessary and humiliating. Ramsey's laugh was bark-like, devoid of humor. Colonel? Sure, and I'm the Pope. Every wannabe's got a story. On your knees, or I'll make a resisting charge. Around them, horns blared as backups formed. A school bus idled 50 yards back, kids pressing faces to windows. Serena assessed. Witnesses. Cameras rolling. Her rank cards in the console. But pride wore with prudence. Officer. Check my ID again. Colonel Serena Brooks. Serial number. Kneel. Ramsey exploded, grabbing her arm and yanking downward, his other hand on his taser. Gravity and force won. Serena dropped to one knee, then both, the rough pavement biting through her slacks. Pain flared in her old knee injury from Afghanistan, but she bit it back, her mind flashing to Aaliyah, Mommy's tough, like Wonder Woman. Humiliation burned hotter than the tar. Her, a command officer who briefed generals, reduced to this by a traffic cop's ego. Ramsey loomed over her, knee on the Escalade's fender. See? That's better. Stay there while I run this. And don't move or you'll regret it. Serena knelt in silence, hands on thighs, staring at the blur of passing tires. A woman in a Prius yelled, "Hey, leave her alone!" But Ramsey waved her off. He returned to his cruiser, radioing dispatch. Unit 47, running plates and ID on a black female 40s, suspicious military plates. Possible narcotics. Minutes ticked by 5 and 7 as he cross-checked, his dash cam whirring. Dispatch crackled back. Unit 47, confirm ID. Serena Brooks, active duty U.S. Army Colonel. 6 rank. Multiple decorations. No warrants. Proceed with caution. Pentagon liaison on file. Ramsey's face drained of color, his radio slipping from sweaty fingers. He stumbled out of the cruiser, eyes wide behind his shades. Ma'am? Colonel? I dispatched just...